In the course of managing our credit, one has a question whether we should go for money lenders, those who are in the formal and the informal sector. And another one either has an opinion to go for the commercial banks, which formalizes the loans, and you're able to pay in accordance to the guidelines of a specified agreement made between you and the bank. We have a businessman here who is representing those who do business here in downtown, the CAFO, which is for the advocacy for kids. Maybe has a better story to tell if you were encouraging someone that want to travel all the way from Kisoro, from Kitugum, and say also want to do business, or to do business from there. There's a controversy between whether we go, those who have to go for credit, whether they should go to money lenders or whether they should go to commercial banks. But of course, from time to time, a decision is taken. But the pain, the outcome seems to be differing from one another. To you, to experience, what causes one to go either, which way to go if one is to do a business that can be able to grow and also be able to overcome poverty?
Well, going to a commercial bank absolutely should have a collateral. That's very important. Should have something to stake as within your background. And people have opted again to run to street money lenders. It's funny. However, how are also banks operating in Uganda? For example, right from the loan processing fee itself, the loan processing, itself is very expensive. That's what I've realized these days. I'm very sorry to say, somebody going for 20 million in a bank right now as a loan, you'd find that what has been put on your account as a 20, it will surprise you that the money is around 18.9, and you wonder where the 1 point something million has gone. That means that people are getting to realize that the procedure itself is very expensive and is put on them. And then at the end of the day, they are paying the whole figure they applied for. But the figure did not reflect as within their hands. That's one. Two, absolutely, this somebody should have a collateral. Which collateral the bank come and then take some time. Now, because somebody is on pressure of doing something, for example, people downtown, they've always got deals that are that have a time frame. A deal has come and it is within hours, it is within days, and the banker's process is like take a week.
Or 2 weeks or a month
to approve your due diligence. Money lenders are within the know of their borrowers. That this person has the capacity. And understand that? So they are so quick. They are so quick. Somebody wants to make a deal of, or he wants 20 million and is likely to have a gain of 4 million within a week. Then it's not likely to run to the bank. The bank will probably delay him. So at the end of the day, it may not materialize.
But what scares some people, and which is a bad story for us, where a money lender is going to issue money, I mean to lend you money, and you have maybe a security, let's say land, let's say car, let's say whether maybe your personal assets within the house, and then makes an agreement that you have sold by this time if you have not paid. So he says that you have sold. Well, and by this time the agreement will read that you have sold.
Well, I think to me, I would advise there are certain money lenders that have registered, by the way.
That are registered.
Yes, they are registered. They are formal. And they are lending money within the parameters of the legal framework. They are there. And they have also had it so rough with the people, with the borrowers, to a level that it is also life-taking. Because that somebody staked his collateral because he was so much in need of money, and then he was like, I've sold it, post-dated, kind of sell. Then reached the other day that the money has not reflected back, and then it becomes an effective.
There are some even who put off phones, by the time you want to pay, you are not able to pay. That's another second story scenario.
Exactly, it does happen. But the money lender has also realized that they were having it rough, because if you are to exist in such a business, you will do it to Mr. Joseph, to Dr. Joseph today, and then tomorrow somebody may not come, and you want to sustain the business. So what money lenders have done, they've also gone into legalizing their work, because there are legal frameworks to which they can exist. I would not advise anybody to probably make a post-dated sale of his property. As he's saying that it is a security. Now, there is the difference between a security and something you are selling. The truth is that would be so much, that would be so dangerous in such a situation. So those are outdated money lenders. But the current money lenders that we do really have, they have formalized themselves. However, their time frame is so short. They are giving you 3 months, they are giving you 1 month, and which is very risky. However, the banks also should revise their loan processing, methodologies. Somebody wants money within a given time frame. Time is money. Somebody has realized a business within a certain time, and the loan process of a certain bank is taking a month. That by the time somebody gets this money, the business deal that was going for is no longer existing. But because he had already gone for it, he eventually gets the money and doesn't go to the right venture. So that's where people usually fall victim of defaulters. So the banks also should quicken the process. And also, I think one time I was listening to one big tycoon who fell a victim of the bank that I do not want to mention here. He's my friend. He was telling me, Mzamil, can we really organize the borrowers kind of forum to probably see how we counter-react on how banks are cheating people? And I understand that because the bank had become a thorn into his feet. It was really pinching him. And now he dragged it to court, and also it is also counter-reacting, and at the end of the day, even central bank is coming out to defend the bank, because this is the work of the central bank again to defend
the commercial bank.
To defend the commercial bank. He feels that the bank has cheated him a lot, and it has taken money beyond what they had agreed. But I think somehow he defaulted, and then there were penalties. So at the end of the day, it was like, let's make a forum to counter-react on how this commercial banks.
So how did it end? And did it work out?
Yes, and we were trying to create certain harmonious grounds of how we should also counter-react.
I would like you to teach the viewers, maybe giving them experiential, case studies. What are the key principles for one to follow if he's going to borrow from the bank and manage the credit or the loan that you have borrowed? And as well, or equally, with money lending, what are the key principles to follow that can make someone as a successful borrower? Because we will not stop borrowing. Borrowing will remain.
It's part of us.
And we come to realize that in those principles you mentioned, there are a number of conditions that we must highlight on. The question of character, capacity, collateral capital, and condition. But I would like to bring it back to you. And you guide the viewers, someone who may either want to know what exactly should I do to be a successful borrower, even if either it was money lending, via money lenders, or via the commercial bank.
Well, first of all, you should have a stable financial flow, whereby there is a business, an income generating activity that is likely to even triple to triple you know, the money that you are borrowing. You know, at some point you are don't wait to borrow when you are at you know, at a drip. It is very dangerous.
Don't borrow when you are at a drip.
When you're at a drip.
But most of the people, they borrow when
which is very dangerous.
Out of 100, I can't.
Exactly, because you are going to borrow when you are panicking. You know, like you are emotionally, you know, confused. That means your financial flows are not very steady, but you are staking it your collateral that you've worked for tirelessly for a very long time to earn. Understand that? You are here a civil servant. You probably got your NSSF, you know, kind of, or something like that, and then you acquired a property, and then here you are, because of panic, you want to survive, you are at a drip, and then you are staking something that you've earned for over 2 decades. That's very bad. A good borrower should be probably into the fertile stages of business. He just wants to progress, to add on. Somebody has rentals that are bringing in 20 million a month. That one has the capacity probably to borrow for a development loan of around maybe 100 million for 7 years. That is able. But here you are probably having an income of around 1 million a month, and that is the gross income. And then you're going for a loan of 20 million, and then the bank is saying you're going to pay it within 2 years. That is probably impossible. And probably, where are you investing the money? Are you investing the 20 million and it's going to bring in an addition of 1 million extra as an income from the 20 million? Or probably you are borrowing probably to have a car. Understand that? So it's also a problem, because like there is probably you're going for showbiz.
So now you've finished the first point. I'm categorizing your point. And the second one, you're saying the borrower, what are you borrowing to do?
Exactly.
You can go on.
Exactly. If you're borrowing in probably to add on an income of 1 million, here you are. Because like if you're having a gross of income of 1 million, and then you have property that you've taken of around like maybe around like 40 million, and they've given you 20 million, but you've got an income generating activity, it must be stable. It's giving you 1 million. And the 20 million, where are you investing it? Are you investing it in a luxury? Are you investing it in something that is income generating activity? Is it well calculated? For example, if you're getting 20 million and you're having rentals that are giving you 1 million, and you're adding in other rentals, maybe 2 rooms, 3 rooms, that whereby they're likely to add on something and probably stabilize in the income to be able to pay the rent, sorry, the loan, then that may make some sense. But now here you are borrowing money to pay a loan, because so there will be like
continue to give
multiple
us
loans.
Yes,
multiple loans. That's what has made people run to money lenders, by the way. Because now.
So now you remember our discussion. You are giving us the key principles for a successful borrower. And you have first of all given us a consideration of what you are. If you borrow, you calculate to know what you are borrowing. You are borrowing for in terms of investment. Then you also talked about the capital that is within your reach.
Exactly.
Before you go for
exactly.
Yes, more other factors like 3 or 5.
Exactly. And if you are borrowing to add on the capital,
you are teaching someone outside there.
Exactly. It is making up sense.
Yes, please.
And let's look at the time frame of what you are borrowing for. For example, you are borrowing for something that is likely to sustain that you're going to invest in, and it's going to take maybe 10 years, 5 years. That within the 2 years, the time frame of the loan, this business that you're borrowing for will still be sustainable. For example, you may borrow in money whereby like the business that you're going in for has a time frame of 3 months. and what are the returns? Because like if it's going to bring the returns that are less than what you borrowed for, then you are going to stagger of like, where am I going to invest the money at?
How do you manage a situation, as I've ever done business, where indeed you undertake a loan, entire on risk. You are not sure at all, even what you'll be able to get, but you project. How do you manage such situation? Did I meet it alone, or it is common?
Yes. Now that means you are not sure.
Yeah, you are not sure, but you've seen other people doing business, and you also say, I think I can do this business.
You see, you see what you see us doing may not be what is really giving us money. You see somebody sitting in an arcade and is driving a V8, but he has a farm.
As a farm. Now you are
and now for him, you're imagining he's getting money from the t-shirts.
Would you expound on that? Because exactly. What is happening?
So that means don't borrow a loan as a copycat. As a copycat. Because you've not made enough research. Dr. Joseph is seated in his shop, and you're imagining to make a business, like his own business, and then you've not gone to Joseph to probably expound on the kind of business he's doing, but you are seeing him.
Or other source of income.
Other source of income. He will, if he's generous enough, he will really tell you that, you know, within these t-shirts, I earn this, but there is a farm. I'm using this shop as a contact or office for other businesses. I understand that. Now, until Moses really tells you, Dr. Joseph tells you that the truth is that I'm into fish farming. And where I'm seated at Nabgabo, you know, here as in my shop, is probably when my managers, they usually come in here and then for contact. Now for you, as like Mr. Joseph is building in Itinda, he has other apartments in Luzira, I think t-shirts have money. Now for you, somebody tells you to get to China, let's go to China. You've not exactly. The bank is very ready, by the way, to give me money. I've got my security of 200 million, and that means I can bring a container of t-shirts. You see? Now, you've not even gone into the values of a t-shirt, as in tax values. How much? You've loaded yourself, you go in China. I understand that? Now, don't borrow as a copycat.
As a copycat.
Exactly. Have research of what you're in. By the way, you could be living comfortably within your
emphasize on that point. Business research. How does it help someone to be successful? Because that research, that word research, has tickled my mind very much. And it is something which many people have not done. Those who are young entrepreneurs, those they just sort of a sudden do the copycat. But the good thing you've stated it. But would you expand much more on that? Because it is quite a serious challenge. Few people go for that research.
Well, right now, you see, there are very many parameters we can go for research. And there are very many areas you should research in as you start a business. Remember, there are very many stakeholders around you. Starting with rent, that's very, go into rent. Research about it. Are you going to rent within the CDB, Central Business Community? Or you are going to rent within the suburb? Where is your capacity? 2, look at the taxes surrounding the business you are going in for. I understand that. Taxation. Because as you step in, probably the the URA is also waiting for you. Then get to understand that will probably other stakeholders allow me do this business, because there are some businesses whereby even NEMA comes in. Understand that? If you are going in for a petrol station, there are very many stakeholders around you to give you certification. Are you looking at that?
Yes.
That, eventually say, no, here a petrol station will not be there. NEMA has refused. Did you understand? That means at the end of the day, now, where are you getting the commodities? What are the transport costs? I understand that. If you're really going into business of transport itself, probably get to know which kind of vehicles are you going to use? Are the spare parts available? Understand that? Here you are, in Uganda, there are certain vehicles that may not work. But again, they may look very cheap on the market. That's true. But maintenance is going to become very hard. I'll give you an example of a Mercedes-Benz, a vehicle. If you are this kind of a person and then you're going to do transport using a Mercedes-Benz, kind of facilities, vehicles, then it's going to be very hard to maintain than a Toyota. Are you looking at that? So that means those are very important. The location of the business, where does it suit best? For example, if you are going to be in an arcade right now, you should be of a very, it should be a big fish, a little bit.
You should have a big fish.
A big fish, because
like at how much, when
because rent itself, I'm very sorry to say, strategically located arcade, they will say probably, can you cost 3 million?
Located arcade of which space and which amount? You don't tell us the practical.
Exactly, because like for example, if you are at Nabugabo and you are at first floor, ground floor, then expect to have a shop of around 6 million.
6 million
5
monthly.
million monthly, yes. That is it. Are you looking at that? So that means
you have to put a business of how much?
Then you should put a business that is worth, because like a business that is going to reap rent of 5 million, then it should be in 500 million.
Should be thinking of 500 million.
Exactly. Or maybe if for you a main tenant and you're looking at having subtenants.
Is the space bigger?
We are looking at those shops are not so big. That's very true, because we are going to have a shop down and also have a store up. Exactly.
That's the total cost of 6.
No, the shop up, the store up is also having its own value.
You add more.
Exactly. Where you should probably put your storage facility, which is at the last floor, where buyers cannot probably find it so hard to go. That is it. So therefore, a 20 million businessman, maybe if he's going to go for shelves in Kampala, in an arcade, maybe. But obviously, you are in a shelf, and then also, display itself is going to be hard for you. You are having 40 t-shirts somewhere, well squeezed in a certain corner. At the end of the day, you may lose your money. At some point, I've always told people that go where you can manage. I'm happy that Ugandans that had lost a lot of money in CBD, they've probably relocated.
We are going for the commercial break, dear viewers and listeners. We will come back to look at the level of advocacy by the PRO for Kafu, where the business, the traders there downtown. And basically, we'll be concluding it with all together, looking at how the banking sector can enhance entrepreneurship and investment. And our dear viewers, it's important to know, and it will be one of the questions, why our fellow Ugandans are competing with the Chinese, where they beat them much more, other than going to where we could defeat them more, especially in agriculture. Stay tuned as we meet in the second session. You see.